203. The food disease. Over the past few decades, America's been consuming a record amount of processed, refined, and modified foods. When you take a step back and see what's happened to health during that same time period, it's easy to see how food could indeed be the cause of the most common health problems we have. Obesity, heart disease, depression, diabetes, and high blood pressure could all be classified as the food disease. Fortunately, the solution can be just as simple: good old fashioned whole food. Food can damage, food can heal. Quick overview: heart disease. Heart disease can be primarily attributed to eating a low fat diet high on refined grains, which lack omega 3 and 6 oils. This type of diet limits heart healthy fats and often includes low fat substitutes containing trans fat. Obesity. It's very simple to fix obesity, yet very difficult at the same time. It's simple because eating a diet rich in whole foods and low in refined grains will reverse obesity. The difficult part is that refined grains and sugars are one of the most addictive substances and can be quite difficult to stay away from. Diabetes. Diabetes is when your pancreas slows down, type 2, or stops working completely, type 1. The pancreas produces insulin to pull sugar from the blood. Blood sugar levels are highly regulated and need to be within a set range. Eating carbs, especially refined grains, will cause your blood sugar to rise. Overeating refined carbs will wear out your pancreas. Depression. Depression is often due to a hormone imbalance in your body. This can happen when you are not getting hormone-producing foods in your diet, such as omega fatty acids. Obesity. In 1900, only 5% of Americans were considered obese. In 2012, the percentage skyrocketed to 35%, and a whopping 60% were considered overweight. Consumption of bread, pasta, cereals, pizza, and junk foods has drastically risen since the early 1900s. In addition to being high in processed carbs, these foods also lack protein, healthy fats, and essential oils, EFAs, which are the important nutrients our bodies need. People are eating less fat and more highly processed carbs than ever before, and obesity is only getting worse. Our current standard for the nutrition is the low-fat food pyramid. We have been told to eat lots of carbohydrates and very little protein and natural fats. As we have learned in this guide, this is exactly the opposite of what your body needs. The lack of nutrients in our bodies due to food processing and eating less protein and fat leaves us craving food. Vital nutrients that we need must come from food. When your body is not getting the nutrition it needs, the only thing it can do is signal hunger to try to get the nutrients it's missing. Eating more nutrient-deficient, low-fat foods causes the cycle to repeat. If you are one who eats and craves all day long, now you know why. This cycle leads to obesity and malnutrition. Obesity can be minimized by simply eating the fat, EFAs, and protein our body's life systems desperately need, while reducing or eliminating the refined carbs. It's that simple. Need to lose a few pounds? Losing weight is something many people want or need to do, so if you find yourself in this category, you're not alone. If the types of foods we recommend are very different from what you've been eating, it may take some time for your body to adjust. This is normal. Take it slow. You don't have to change your diet overnight. There really isn't a special diet for weight loss. If you eat the types of foods we discussed in the previous lessons, your body will trend towards its normal weight. For those of you that want to speed up your weight loss, or if you aren't experiencing the weight loss you were hoping for, here are a few tips. Weight loss tips. Some people have a problem eating out of habit or for comfort. Eating whole foods high in protein and healthy fat will satisfy your appetite much longer. Omega supplements can also help to reduce cravings. Avoid high-carb snack foods and eat protein-based snacks instead, such as nuts or seeds. Focus on fat and inch loss in the beginning. You will likely gain muscle from eating more protein. You might not see actual weight loss right away, but you will be losing fat. Just pay attention to how your clothes are fitting and how you look. Weight loss will come. Don't worry. Focus on eating protein and fats first. This will help to drastically reduce insulin production and sensitivity, which is responsible for fat storage. Eliminate all added sugars and white carbohydrates. This includes all flour-based and grain-based foods such as breads, pastas, potatoes, rice, crackers, and chips. Eliminate gluten. Reduce dairy in your daily diet. The primary goal is to avoid the lactose, natural milk sugar. Reducing or eliminating fruit can speed up fat loss. For carbohydrates, focus on legumes, beans, and non-starchy vegetables. Eat breakfast. This is important for an active metabolism and will contribute to a greater calorie burn throughout the day if done consistently. Eating more slowly can help you feel full before you've eaten too much. After you have achieved the weight loss desired, then you can switch to a maintenance plan. Many people like to establish a routine where they have a set meal plan throughout the week and designate one day per week as a cheat day where you can eat a few things that you normally wouldn't as a special treat. After you've established your maintenance routine, should you begin to gain weight, simply reevaluate your plan and reduce fat-causing foods until you get to a point where you are maintaining your weight. Adjustments would be modifying your maintenance plan to be somewhere between where it is and the weight loss plan outlined here. Over time, you will zero in on your perfect plan, and it will be completely customized to your preferences. It's that simple. Now you know how to master your weight. High blood pressure and heart disease. High blood pressure is a common problem in America today. Our vascular system is the life support superhighway of our body. Blood transports nutrients to our organs, muscles, and tissues through a network of blood vessels. The cells that make up the lining of blood vessels need essential fatty acids, EFAs, to keep them healthy and resistant to damage. If we are eating a diet lacking in EFAs, which usually means consuming trans fats, the walls of our blood vessels can become rigid and damage more easily. High insulin levels from eating too many carbs can also damage artery walls. Cholesterol then accumulates to try and heal the arteries, acting as a scab. This is known as plaque. It is very important to make sure you are getting the proper balance of EFAs to keep your vascular system running smoothly and your arteries healthy. When the arteries become rigid, they can't flex like they need to. The force required to move the blood will rise, thus increasing the pressure. When our arteries receive the EFAs we need, the flexibility is restored, allowing the arteries to expand and blood to flow smoothly, which helps to restore normal blood pressure. Many sources confirm that EFAs play an important role in reducing the risk of heart disease. The New England Journal of Medicine found that 8 ounces of fish each week reduce the risk of fatal heart attacks. Residents of other countries who consume high levels of EFAs have been shown to have less problems with diabetes and heart disease. Cholesterol. Cholesterol is a problem that is really not a problem. Cholesterol is required by our bodies but has been blamed for issues that it is not really responsible for. Approximately 50% of people with heart problems have low cholesterol, and the other 50% have high cholesterol. So why is so much emphasis put on cholesterol? The truth is, cholesterol is a required substance in the body and is used for many important functions. Cholesterol is vital for the formation of cellular structure. It is produced in the body as needed and generally does not come from foods. That's right. Eating foods like eggs that contain animal cholesterol doesn't mean that it remains as cholesterol in your body. Our bodies break down almost everything we eat into basic building blocks that our bodies then use to create what they need. Cholesterol is also a precursor for hormone production, and it repairs tearing and damage inside of the arteries. One function of the so-called bad cholesterol, LDL, is to protect and carry life-supporting healthy essential oils, EFAs, to every cell in your body, including the brain. Does this sound like a substance you want to artificially lower in your body? No. Once again, we are finding ourselves artificially limiting something our bodies need. An interesting note, the body has amazing systems to monitor blood pH, insulin, temperature, and other key functions that need very tight control to keep us alive. There is no strict control mechanism for cholesterol, further indicating that the amount required in your body has a wide tolerance. Don't blame the messenger. There is a misconception about cholesterol. One function of cholesterol is to act as a healing agent in the arteries. Cuts can form in the arteries due to nutritional deficiency in fatty acids as well as other factors such as high insulin levels or consuming trans fats. This causes cholesterol to form a protective layer like a scab on the inside of the artery in order to heal it. Using drugs to artificially reduce cholesterol levels isn't really addressing the problem, and it doesn't do anything to help arteries heal, which is why the plaque doesn't go away. This goes back to our health worldview discussion. Are we having problems with heart attacks because of a statin drug deficiency or because of a nutritional deficiency? We believe that the body can heal itself, and it was created with tools like cholesterol to help it heal. If we understand that the body is malnourished and simply needs to be given the proper fuel for healing, we will look to those solutions first. In the case of heart disease, the reason many people have repeat heart attacks is that the problem was never addressed, and a band-aid was simply put on the symptom. The combination of consuming EFAs and reducing insulin levels by eating fewer processed carbs will help keep your vascular system more elastic, flexible, and running smoothly. When eating a whole food diet, cholesterol is produced properly, and you will no longer need to worry about cholesterol levels. Your cholesterol structure will be correct, your arteries will be healthy and flexible, and your body will produce cholesterol as necessary for normal functions. Cholesterol levels will typically fall into the ranges commonly considered healthy. It's also important to note that the target level of 200 was influenced by drug companies. Many doctors promote that normal healthy cholesterol levels can be as high as 300. Diabetes. What is diabetes? Type 2 diabetes is a terrible disease that leads to thousands of deaths every year. Basically, type 2 diabetes begins when the pancreas, the organ in our bodies responsible for insulin production, slows down or stops working completely. This results in the body's inability to make enough insulin to balance out the glucose produced from eating carbohydrates. Your body can only tolerate so much sugar in your blood at any given time. Insulin converts the sugar into less harmful substances like body fat and gets it out of the blood. People are eating more carbs than ever before. Insulin is produced by the pancreas when we eat carbs. Type 2 diabetes, pancreas failure, is increasing every year. Consistently high levels of insulin can lead to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance has been shown to increase your risk of developing diabetes. By overeating processed carbs day after day, the pancreas starts to wear out. It wasn't meant to handle so much insulin production. The more our society has promoted eating refined grains and less fat, the more diabetic we have become. Many people are finding that they can manage this disease simply by eating diets higher in proteins and low-carb vegetables. Once again, we see eating good whole foods can support your body in healing. A word about ADHD. Many kids have been labeled with a disease called ADHD. While there are times when a child may have a medical condition causing hyperactivity, this is largely not the case. Let's take a look at the typical child's meal plan. Cereal or toaster pastries are eaten for breakfast, loaded with sugar and refined grains. For lunch, they may have a hot lunch with plenty of refined grains and some protein, or a cold lunch with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, chips, sugary yogurt in a tube, a juice box, cookies, and crackers. Then, if a child is lucky, they may have a nice, healthy dinner, but many times they get a microwave meal or drive-through. Can we really feed our kids this awful food and expect them to be able to sit still or not be hyper? Kids have tons of energy anyway, but load them with all of these foods that convert to sugar in their body, and you can pretty much predict this will happen. Kids on a whole foods diet rich in proteins focus better and have healthy energy levels. Should you hide from the sun? What appears to be obvious isn't always what it seems. Skin cancer and being in the sun is another example of people jumping to conclusions. At first thought, it makes sense that the sun may be the cause of skin cancer because the sun interacts with our skin. But when you think back to past centuries, people were in the sun far more than we are today, and skin cancer back then was pretty rare. We were designed to interact with the sun and even get vitamin D from that interaction. So why would something we need cause us harm as well? Could this be another example of our food disease? As it turns out, omega fatty acids are involved in the reaction that makes vitamin D when the sun's rays hits our skin. When you don't have enough, or even worse, have adulterated omega fats in your body, that reaction doesn't work properly and can cause problems. To make the situation worse, people are rubbing all kinds of chemicals on their skin in order to protect themselves from the sun. Some of these chemicals have been shown to actually cause skin problems, not protect you from them. This is another example of how eating whole foods designed for your body and avoiding altered man-made foods will help your body stay healthy and prevent many of the common diseases we see today. Does food cause disease? After taking a look at each of these diseases and why they occur, we can see a recurring theme. Eating foods that have been altered from their original state causes problems. Our bodies don't know how to handle foreign substances and they can't heal when they don't have the nutrients they need. At first, it seems hard to believe that the cause of most of our health problems is from eating the wrong foods, yet, when you think about it, it has to be. For these problems to develop in such a widespread way so quickly, it can't be genetic. It has to be something that can affect the body more quickly: food. Fortunately, the body is very resilient. You can change your diet and begin seeing your health improve in no time.